Well, to put a little pin on this part of the conversation,
Yeah.
I know you've talked about in length the different scenes that mean a lot to you, specifically with, Karina. Is there a non-romantic scene that you had in the marina world that you just love?
A non-romantic scene. What's crazy, some people are asking about scenes of late, and I'm like, it's crazy how they start to slip from your memory. They're like, what
Yeah.
was, and then people remind you, you go, oh my God, yeah, 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 I love that one. There's some of those early scenes were had such great memories wrapped up in them because me and Stefania were really discovering the characters and the relationship as it went on. Whether it was like her like bringing me lasagna in the office, like simple, like just sexy scenes. Those also were fun scenes because at the beginning of, as we know, as adults, as any relationship, there's that kind of like lust and passion before, Maya divulged all of her dark secrets and all that stuff came out. I shouldn't say dark secrets, but that dark side of Maya came out. And so I really enjoyed those like early scenes. Yeah, I'm trying to remember of other little ones that we just got, and just me and Stefani had a blast just kind of playing. Man, it's hard to think back on so many.
Yeah, you've done a lot.
We've done a lot. I always love because you said what the ones that weren't. Which ones am I going for? Ones that
I
weren't
feel like you've talked a lot about the romantic
the
scenes,
romantic
but there
ones.
were
Yeah,
there were many other ones too.
see, that one's romantic too, though. I'm trying to
Yeah.
think. I mean, I always loved, which is the humorous one, which I think Stefania will disagree with me on this one, but the her getting the IVF shots and like just the emotional roller coaster she went on while she was getting the hormone injection. Sorry, was was so much fun to watch and so much fun to be a part of. And having Great Dame in there too to add a little extra humor. It was really fun to play that as an actor and as the character. To be able, because it was still emotional, we were still able to connect, but it wasn't, I would necessarily say, your typical version of romance. Um, it was kind of a more real version of love showing up when, one person's being pumped full of hormones and being completely emotional and irrational and it's humorous, but it's also heartfelt. Like, yeah, that whole storyline, I really loved that. Which I think the flip side of that is when Maya had the panic attack when they went to LA, and she herself put herself, her own worth so much in her job. And Karina was there for her while she was having a full on meltdown. I think those scenes, though not typically romantic, really, really showcase their love for each other. I really loved
Mm.
this. Now, see, it took me a second, but I got there. I was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
those scenes really, really held a lot of weight for me.
Oh yeah. I mean, the way you brought this character to life is nothing short of brilliant. And it's why it resonates with so many people. It's not the writing's amazing and it's phenomenal, but the artist has to bring it to life in a way that's believable and that people buy, right? So it's a testament to the work that you guys certainly did. When you were talking, I just had a thought that your character needs to be in the 911 world, the Ryan Murphy show. Like what are we doing?
I mean, that'd be amazing. It's funny you bring that up because Tracy Toms is in the 911 world, and I just saw her this weekend. She'd be like, "Okay, tell Ryan we need to come over to 911." I mean, yeah, I would be. Listen, I'll take any world that wants to accept Maya Bishop with open arms. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. It's so interesting to me that earlier you bring up, you're as an actor either employed or unemployed. And
Yeah.
it sounds kind of so like, oh my God, that's so harsh on yourself. But I guess the reality is that's what it is, right? So you're in this period of transition and you've been working like crazy for so many years and now you're kind of seeing what comes next. Is that an uncomfortable place for you to sit?
Oh yeah, big time. That was when it first hit. That's why I've been like, what do I want to do? There's also, I think, any profession, you sometimes get so wrapped up in work that you forget, like, what are your hobbies? What do you actually enjoy doing? Even though we enjoy our work, I enjoy my work. I'm assuming you do as well. Like, we enjoy doing this, but what do you love to do outside of work? And that's what's so uncomfortable because I'm sitting in silence, kind of bored, going like, what do I want to do with my time? When I'm usually so used to it being work driven. And I'm still sitting here like auditioning like crazy. So I'm still doing all of that element of it. But I'm like, after the self tape and after the Zoom meeting, what do I want to do? And that it took a second. I'm also not someone who sits uncomfortable for too long. I went through a phase in my early 20s where I kind of had a pity party. I had this show, it only went one season, and I put so much into it and I thought it was going to be everything. And it was my everything for that one season. And it just bombed. It failed. Nothing happened with it. And I sat in my early 20s, I was like 2021, in this like pity party, like kind of sulking and, just self pity constantly. And I never want to get to that place again. So I'm someone who moves pretty fast. So I'm like, this is uncomfortable. How do I fix it? Like, I want to solve the problem. I don't want to waste precious time of my life, sitting too much in that. I want to solve it. So I was uncomfortable. I didn't know what to do. And then I just started trying things. And that's where learning French and playing tennis kind of came from, because I was like, let me use this time to really tap into things that make me happy that aren't associated with work. So yeah, so it's definitely uncomfortable to sit in, and it's definitely weird. It's definitely better coming off of a show of 7 seasons. As an actor, I'm obviously much more financially sound, which as actors, a lot of times it's working from job to job. I think sometimes people always think like it's so glamorous and you make all this money. It's like, no, I'm not Brad Pitt. like, you know, so but the lovely thing is that I had stability for 7 seasons, 7 years. I'm able to kind of walk away going, okay, I'm financially stable. I'm completely okay. I don't have to stress about jumping to the next job and having to take any job that they put in front of me, which gives me a lot of creative freedom as well, which I really love. But yeah, it's definitely uncomfortable. I'm in it now. I'm sitting in it. I'm going through the process of it and really trying to utilize the time to spend it with family, to find the things I love, to take on new hobbies. I'm like growing arugula, and I'm hopefully it won't kill it because I do not have a green thumb. I've killed cactuses, like cacti, I should say. I don't know how, but I've killed them. So really taking this time to feed my soul in ways that aren't through acting and through art. I mean, still through art, but different versions of art.
And I imagine that really helps you not have such a chokehold on wrapping your entire identity into your work, which, as you mentioned earlier, is something that's you're working on. And I imagine is a work in progress for all of us, right? But that's also got to feel kind of freeing.
Freeing and a little scary. I mean, there's also something that when you're so comfortable wrapping up your identity in a job, it's scary to go, okay, well, if my job isn't that, what is it? And that is what I'm sitting in right now, which is a little scary. But I'm figuring it out. I'm figuring it out day by day.
Yeah. Yeah. In my life, I've realized the moments where I feel that the most, and when I've learned through the work to let go, through doing a lot of work to let go a little bit, that's also when some of the wildest things have entered my life.
Yeah.
Which is a weird thing.
It always happens that way, doesn't it, though? It's like when you kind of like relinquish control and just kind of decide to go on the ride and listen to your heart and gut in the moment and be in the present, all of those things. It starts to kind of things start to come into place or fall into place that you just never would have expected. But it's easier said than done, as we both know.
It is. It's totally easier said than done. Yeah. This might be a hard question to answer, but I'm curious because I have my thoughts on this myself. Is part of the uncomfortable and, unsettling part of being in transition for you being worried or wondering what other people are saying about what you are or you aren't doing?
It's such an interesting question, what people are saying. Yeah, I think that absolutely is a factor. It's not, thank God, the main factor, the main thing going on, but it definitely, I think especially with going back to social media and our whole lives being on display for everybody, there is that world of like, yeah, what a great question. I'm trying to think of how, though, it really shows itself.
For me, I work on a television show called Extra. There's a full-time gal here in New York, and I'm her counterpart, but I'm a freelancer for them, and I've been doing it for years and years and years. And they're great to me, they're family, and I love them. But when I first started, and I didn't have this show, and I just got off the Rachel Ray show, which ended after 17 seasons, and I was her kind of lifestyle correspondent for 6 years. So I was kind of in transition, and then that came about, and all I wanted was full-time, full-time, full-time. I need that full-time. I need it full-time. I realized years later, a lot of that for me was a little bit of ego. Like, well, what are people saying? Are they saying, why is he not on every night? And why is he only appear twice a week? And this girl's on 3 times a week. And then I started catching myself like, why am I so worried what other people are thinking or not thinking. And maybe I'm just thinking that like no one cares except me probably. So why am I so concerned? Like it's not like, oh man, I love the work so much I wish I was full time. That's not what I was saying. I was
Mm,
saying, oh man, I wonder what these people are saying, not seeing me every night on the show. And it's like, whoa, that was a big aha for me.
yeah.
And I've really, worked on that myself, and it opened up this whole world where, we're here talking on the show, and I have my own show at iHeart and all the things. So it's an interesting topic to me.
It is, and you're right. There's something about it that it is obviously fueled from like our ego and that comparison game and trying to feel like, oh, everyone else is holding us to this instead of looking at, oh, this is a successful thing I'm doing these 2, 3 days, a week. Instead, it's not all week. People look at it as successful, and we're looking at it as it's not enough. And
Right, and it's so wild to me because the reality is it's a budget thing. Like they just can't afford me full time. Otherwise, they would.
but it's also it's still successful. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that's still a huge thing that so many people that want, you know what I mean? Like that would love that. And you're like, but we always want more. It's interesting. It's a really interesting question that I'm probably going to think on a lot even after this interview, or this chat. I don't want to call it an interview because it's like more just us chatting. But yeah, it's interesting. I didn't feel like I would say I felt that a lot more, that exact feeling when I was younger.
hmm,
Absolutely. It felt like I had to do it for everyone else, not for me. I
yeah,
do feel like I'm in a different headspace now. I'm not doing it because I need to prove to people. I feel like I've lost that. I feel like I don't have to prove it. I'm like, I've proven myself. I'm there. I'm really just trying to challenge myself with the jobs that I choose. But there is an element of like, but that's not the full truth. Like there is an element of keeping up with the Joneses in regards to your life in general. Do I need to look like I'm busy and doing things and having a great time? Like what social media kind of pulls out of us
yeah.
sometimes. I don't know. This is going to be a question that really makes me I'm like, we need to revisit this. I'm like,
I know it's a big question. It really is, and
it
it's such an interesting one. I think a lot of people listening probably have felt that in some way, shape, or form, and it's so nice to be on the other side of that and to literally
yeah,
be like, I don't really give a fuck what anyone thinks. Like I'm
exactly.
like I'm so proud of everything I'm doing. Like so, it's just nice
Yeah,
to go through that and then to have that aha and be like, no,
yeah.
like I don't care about that. So it's super interesting. And I imagine a lot of people listening right now who probably feel a little stuck or also in transition or
Yeah.
like, where is this all going in my life? So, what advice would you give to them to kind of ease their little journey?
I mean, everyone, I agree, is a lot of it feels like on a global scale right now, this is happening where everyone is kind of going on this transition and this journey to figure it out. And I think kind of what we said is kind of for anyone out there that is going through it, like go on the ride. Don't fight it. Like, don't try to control it. Keep an open mind and open eyes to what's in front of you. Because sometimes I think we're so set in our ways of like, I have to do this.
Hmm.
This is what I have to do. And we actually miss the thing that was right here that really was more of our calling or would have given us more fulfillment or something instead of this thing that we're so set on. It doesn't have to be a different thing, just a different path than what we kind of saw things. I think we want to control so much because control seems to be this false sense of safety and security when really you can't control anything at all. Like as you and I both know, like we have zero control. Um, so for anyone out there, I think it's like take a breath, relax, just try to go on the journey and enjoy the journey. Because sometimes I think everyone that's gotten to some goal that they've tried to achieve, if you don't enjoy the journey, you get to the goal and it happens and you're like, okay, now what?
Hmm.
And you realize like, oh, actually I was supposed to enjoy that entire ride, the ups and downs, and be happy and celebrate whatever it is that you get to or you're striving for. But then after you celebrate, you kind of go, okay, now what?
Right.
And I think if you don't really enjoy this journey that you're on, this transitional journey, then it's a missed opportunity. So I think that'd be my advice. It's again, I know all of this is easier said than done because when you're in that headspace of feeling lost, or just unsure, I know so many people that have reached out to me in their early 20s. They're like, what do I do? And I'm like, listen, the early 20s were the hardest years of my life, but
Mm.
I would not change it for anything in the world. Like I grew so much as a person. There are definitely moments I loved and moments I absolutely hated, but I'm so grateful that I went on that journey and that at times was like, okay, I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna let go. I'm just gonna go for it. Um, and look at, where I'm at, where I was able to get to by doing that. So yeah, that would be my advice. I hope people can hear that, and not just feel kind of helpless that they're like, how do I do that? Just do it. Just let go.
Yes, let go. I love
Yeah.
that. And I love that you just said, you could look at where you are now and be like, I did it. I'm doing good. I just had that. I live on a street in New York where there's a university, and I saw all the kids today going back to school. And I'm like,
Yeah.
God, I remember when I was moving into NYU, and I'm like, you know what? That little dude would be pretty happy right now.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know?
Isn't that always kind of like gives me goosebumps and like warm, fuzzy feeling to be like, yeah, okay, okay,
Yeah.
we did it.
Yeah, we did it.
We're
It's not
doing it,
always exactly. We're doing
Yeah.
it. We're still doing it. We did all of it. I know. I think it's a good reminder for all of us to kind of check ourselves once in a while in a good way, because we don't we
Yeah.
don't we don't do that a lot. Um,
And to
man,
congratulate ourselves, right? A little
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Like like that it wasn't easy. We both know in our own stories like what we went through, the good and the bad, the good, the bad and the ugly. And it says a lot that we're where we're at. So
Yeah.
anyone out there that's going through something, try to applaud yourself for the actual wins that you've accomplished too, not just look at all the things that you consider. I don't consider anything a failure, but the things that you might consider as not wins. So
For sure.
didn't mean
So
to cut you off.
no, no. In the spirit of, continuing to grow and evolve, we are about, I mean, we're halfway, the year's halfway over.
I
It's more than
know.
halfway over, right? So
Crazy.
it is crazy. I can't believe it. It's September in a week. So what is something you hope to start doing, stop doing, and continue doing for the rest of the year?
Ooh. Start doing, stop doing, and continue doing. Continue will definitely be finding myself outside of work. That's something I'm really enjoying. I don't know what else I'm going to get into or try. Who knows? Maybe I'll start, I don't know what, sewing clothes or learning how to build something with my hands. But that I want to absolutely continue to do. And then what I want to stop doing. I mean, I want to stop stressing about everything because that still exists. I'm in that moment of say as do as I say, not as I do. Like I'm telling everyone, like live in the moment, but even I sometimes stress about stuff on a daily basis. But I meditate a lot. Continue meditating for sure. So yeah, I think I want to stop. I'm not trying to control the future, but I am still stressed about it. I would like to stop stressing.
Mm.
Like that feeling kind of happens and I'm not living in it, but it happens. And then I have to calm myself, remind myself, Danielle, you're fine. You're good. Your worth is not wrapped up in your work. Like,
Mm.
enjoy this time. So I would like to get to a point where I'm not having to do that on a daily basis of like calming yourself down. And what I'd love to start doing, why is that one so hard?
It's
How
a hard one.
interesting.
It's another big one.
Is it the thing I think that comes up for me is I'd love to start doing more things that scare me,
Mm.
which is kind of, I don't know, they all kind of are, everything is kind of the start, the things I want to continue and the things I want to start. And I guess the things I want to stop are all kind of obviously interwoven with each other. But I want to really start doing things that scare me. I have this desire to want to do theater. And even though I have this downtime and I have things at my fingertips to start that really scares me. I want to really start prioritizing the things that fulfill me more too, whatever that is. I think right now I'm really going through a phase where I'm like, okay, I really want to spend time with, my best friend and his daughter and, my partner and kids and be like not having to do things, but just sit in the backyard and play by the pool and keep it simple. So I guess I want to start all the S's. I want to start doing the things that scare me and keeping things more simple.
Oh, I love that. I love that. That's a good one.
What about you? I always want to know more about you.
I know, but it's not about me. Well, that's for
I
coffee in New
know.
York City. That's for coffee in New York City. It's
Okay,
about
deal. I'm gonna
you.
hold you to that.
That's when you're doing your off-Broadway or Broadway show in New York, then we'll be going to dinners.
There we go. I love to hear that. I
Is
love
that something you would do? You mentioned theater.
I would love to. I
Yeah.
mean, don't get me wrong. I'm scared shitless. Let's be honest. Scared shitless for theater. I'm someone who's a perfectionist and comes to set prepared, and I love to get it in one take and the whole thing. But theater, there's no there's no take two.
No.
Um, I think I would, after the nerves, really love performing in front of a live audience, but it's the scary part of like, you can't mess up. One and done. And then do it 8 days a week. Eight
Yeah.
times a week, I should say, not 8 days a week. There's not 8 days.
You're already getting anxious thinking about it.
I am. Just even the thought of it. It's so true.
Well, but because it scares you, I bet you will be doing it one day now.
You know me too well at this point, I think. You're like, oh, she'll be doing this.
Yep, she'll be doing. I'll see some deadline come out and be like, "Oh, yeah, okay." Oh, you know that Oprah gif where she's like, that's what I'm going to do when I read that. So,
A great deal.
I love that for you. Oh my God, Danielle.
Yes.
I just this for me is a really fun conversation because yes, we got to celebrate, work that means so much to so many people, but I also love having you on because we talk about real things that you're gracious and open enough to talk about because it's human, right? And there's not always, but there's sometimes a veil in my business when I talk to some people or you just don't have enough time to get into it. And some of the most powerful things emerge, I think, from conversations like this, which is why I've been really excited and looking forward to speaking to you again, because we all change and evolve. And when we talked a year ago, you're not who you are today as you were then, right? And I think that's the goal of many people. It certainly seems to be a goal of yours. It's a goal of mine. So it's always fun to do these check-ins and catch-ups. And with that being said, you know the name of the show, which is I've never said this before.
Yeah.
And it was born, very, very, very specifically out of wanting more connection after working so many red carpets and so many junkets and, not really having time to dive deeper than I think a lot of people want to be able to do. So, with that being said, is there anything you open book you that you can think of that you haven't said before that you want to say today?
I always struggle with this one, and I think, like I said it, I think I've told you over the phone, like the last time this thing happened where I said, love yourself for yourself. And it resonated with so many people and it just came from such an organic place. And I was so scared going into this, like, what do I say? And I kept trying to think about it. And in the end, I was like, whatever is said, whatever I say, it's just going to be what I say, going with the flow, not trying to control it for this entire conversation. And I think what's really come up for me just in this conversation and what I'm really grappling with now is that I'll say what I've never said before. It's giving me anxiety in my chest just to say it is, I'm really scared that I'm never going to be able to play another character that had such a impact on an audience and that I had such a connection with and that both I and the audience loved so much. Like I'm scared. I'm scared that was it, that I'll continue to act, but I'll never play a character that meant so much to me and to so many others. And I can't control that and I don't know, but it scares me that it won't happen. So yeah, I think that's something that I've never said until right this second, but that really came from this conversation. That's a big fear of mine. Big fear.
That's first of all, thank you for sharing that. I know that's probably not something that you would just, share in any interview. It's a big thing to say because it deals with such raw and real emotion. And that's a testament to how much you love this role and how much, she meant to you, not just the people who watched her, but to you, which is a really beautiful thing to see. And I guess my next follow-up question to that is how do you decide what you want to take on moving forward, knowing that that's kind of in the back of your head?
I'm trying to not overthink the next thing. Like I tried not to even overthink when I booked Found, knowing that she was really I knew she was going to be a villain. Like she was not going to be anything like Maya. But I don't know. I think I can't overthink it is what my gut is saying right now, because I didn't know what Maya was going to be when I signed on. I had no idea. I knew I resonated with her. And I think that's just what I have to do is if a character resonates me in some way, even if it's just it challenges me as an actor, I just have to go for it. And if that character ends up resonating with people, then I'm that more grateful for it. But I just know I can't control that. I think it's just the fear that I'm sad that it might not ever happen again. I think people will love some of the characters I play, but speaking on the word that love is like, people loved Maya so much. I loved Maya so much. Do people still love me now that I'm not Maya?
Mm.
And hopefully they'll still love the characters I play no matter who they are. So it's multi-layered, but I can't overthink it. I definitely, of course, my team has always known that from day one, I've always been someone who wants to play strong female characters. I think that's one thing that if you look at my whole body of work through my entire career, my team has usually been pretty on top of just make it a strong female character, even if she's a villain. Like, is she strong and is she a badass and is she flawed and we can somehow see her, working through her issues. That's something I'll always lean into. A character that's strong, but yeah, I just can't. I don't know. I don't know the answer. We don't have all the answers, right?
Yeah. No, that's a really, really cool thing to open up about, and I thank you for that because it's such a real thing. Do you write
Scripts or?
Yeah.
I was like, which one? I dabble, but no, me and Emily Culver, one of the writers of Station 19, have developed a project, but she is the writer, even though she wants me to say I'm a writer as well. I don't consider myself a writer. I love creating. Maybe one day I will sit in front of, screenwriter or final draft and actually start writing myself. But I love the creative process. So yeah, why do you ask? What was the why?
I could just see you writing something really cool, and just based on how you speak and the storyteller you are in, your career, but also as a human, I could just see something really passionate come to life from you. I wouldn't be surprised if one day you were inspired and just started writing a pilot or a screenplay or something.
When I'm too old to be in front of the camera, when they're like, when they're like, oh no, she's too old. Sorry, get behind the camera. I'll just start writing.
No.
No, listen, I'm someone who loves this job so much. I love the arts. I love storytelling that I can always imagine myself in kind of every element, but I am not someone at this current stage that would consider myself a writer. But maybe one day. I mean, I love it. I'm passionate about this whole industry and the act of storytelling. So we'll see. And thank you for that, though. Thanks for the belief.
Yeah, I got you. I am here to champion you on your birthday eve, Dan.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my God, thank you. Just thank you for hanging out again. I've been really looking forward to this.
No, so have I. And thank you for making it happen. Because I, for people that are listening, like I really was hesitant at first. I was like, Tommy, what are we going to talk about? I was like, I feel like, that lack of like my work. Like I was like, I don't have anything to talk about. There's no job. So I just want to say thank you for getting me to get out of my shell and talk about this stuff. And it's always a pleasure talking to you. And thank you for your belief in me always, because I will say, going back to a little bit we just talked about, is all it takes is one person to believe in you to really kind of spark that passion to be able to think you can do something, even if it's a crazy idea like being a writer. I'm like, God, Tommy thinks I can be a writer. I can do it.
Yeah.
No, so thank you for such amazing conversations. And I hope we get to catch up and properly get to talk about you as well. This one-sided conversation. I would love to get to talk to you and catch up on your life in New York one of these days over coffee. So.
Well, you let me know when you're here. It's on.
Yeah, it might be soon, so I'll let you know for sure.
Okay, good. Well, thank you so much, my love. Always a pleasure. And I'm gonna be watching you closely, seeing what's coming.
Same to you. I'll be whatever you do next. I'll be watching. So.
Well, be well, and thank you so much.
Thank you.